Mr. Koch, we welcome you for your welcome now for this event.
Thank you, Dr. Erdle. On behalf of the German Agricultural Society, DAG, a very warm welcome to our today's virtual preview event on the Asia-Pacific Trading Summit. My special welcome to Dr. Arthur Ickstadt, the German Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Baldev Singh Amar, founder, president, Agricultural Machinery Manufacturers Association, AMMA, in India, and chairman of Punjab State Agricultural Implements Manufacturers. Mr. Naing Win, Deputy Director General, Agricultural Mechanization Department of the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Irrigation in Myanmar. Dr. Darius Kittiyopas, Inspector General, Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives and President, Thai Society of Agricultural Engineering in Thailand. Last but not least, Mr. Alexander Haus, Mechanical Engineering Industry Association in Germany, or so-called VDMA. Today, we will welcome more than 110 participants from 23 countries all over the world. Southeast Asia is a very exciting, rapidly developing region for the European and especially the German agricultural machinery industry and the machinery industry worldwide. DLG sees a market with high development potential. The region already feeds millions of people through its agriculture. Thus, in 2017, we did run the first spin-off of Hanover's AGRITECHNICA in Thailand, in Bangkok, AGRITECHNICA Asia and Horti Asia. And we are very pleased that we are in a very close collaboration with both ministries of agriculture, the German one and the Thai one. And all our activities are supported by VNU Asia Pacific, and there is also a close collaboration with the German embassy in Bangkok. And I want to express my special thanks to this good collaboration with all these institutions and the German Agricultural Society. The aim of our today's virtual preview event on Asia Pacific Trading Summit, getting an overview of the agricultural situation in the markets, especially with regard to mechanization and trading. The focus today is on the countries India, Myanmar, and Thailand, and when we will hold our summit with AGRITECHNICA Asia in May, then we will address further countries. Today, firstly, our experts will give some insight into their countries before Mr. Haus from the VDMA will present the German agricultural technology on behalf of the German manufacturers. Furthermore, the companies Claas, Grimme, and Step Systems will report on their activities in Southeast Asia. And I will finish with two invitations. First, I want to invite all of you, your clients, and all the agricultural community visiting us from May 27 to 29 in Bangkok with our AGRITECHNICA Asia and Horti Asia. And I will not forget to remind that in November in Germany, in Hanover, the AGRITECHNICA will run. And I also hope that we can welcome many of you real, not virtual, because we hope and we cross our fingers that the pandemic will solve until November. And in the Asian region, hopefully more early. Thank you very much, and I wish much success with our event today.
So I need my video at the moment. So So as soon as I got my video from our host, I can say that Mr. Ikstad was not able to join our meeting today. However, he just called me and sent me his welcome speech, which I now have the honor to read out for you all. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I extend to all of you a very sincere welcome on behalf of my ministry. I'm truly grateful that you have accepted the invitation to join us here on this occasion today. The German Federal Minister, Ms. Julia Glöckner, has also asked me to pass over her warm greetings. To feed the growing population worldwide, we need to intensify and optimize the production on fields, grassland, and in stables. Asia has all the necessary natural resources to meet that goal. Ladies and gentlemen, made in Germany is a phrase well known all over the world. Cars, machinery, engineering, pharmaceuticals, all these products and services from Germany have a great reputation. German companies also have excellent solutions for the needs of farmers. Agricultural machinery is a core business. But there's a gap to fill between Asian needs and German competence. Filling that gap will be the challenge of today's audience, and I'm sure you will manage. Today's event is part of the trade promotion program of the German Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture. With this program, the ministry supports trade activities. It is designed to contribute in making it easier for German producers and Asian buyers to get in touch with each other and ultimately conduct business. All in all, allow me to state, we are strongly convinced that there generally is a high potential for future growth, which is why we should use all opportunities to encourage mutual exchange. Today's summit is such an occasion to establish new contacts, to swap ideas and to discuss business interests that all of us have in common. At this point, I'm looking very much forward to the contributions awaiting us here today. Therefore, with this, I should like to finish my remarks for the sake of brevity. Dear audience, thinking of your ambition and your commitment, I wish you an interesting lectures, fruitful discussions, and successful business relationships in the future. Thank you, Dr. Ikstad, for your welcome speech you sent me. And if you can hear us or your colleagues, we are very happy for this welcome and for your support of your ministry. Thank you for that. And hopefully, maybe you join later on and can go on with our discussion as well. So ladies and gentlemen, now to me to go ahead, and trading actually can be very complicated. Some would even make a kind of war out of it. However, we all know that best business and advantage for end users is made if trading is based on agreements. And agreements, on the other side, are based on understanding. The understanding of others' needs and of the frameworks in specific regions. My name is Klaus Ertle of the German Agricultural Society, the DLG, and I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to be part of today's way of improving this understanding. What are the needs in mechanization and support? What is doable in terms of structures and preconditions also in the manufacturing countries? And what is not yet feasible due to the current situation in specific regions? Well, our first journey goes to India, where Mr. Baldev Singh Amar will give us a kind of tour through the Indian status of mechanization, its needs, and potentials for international trade. Mr. Baldev is founder of the Agricultural Machinery Manufacturer Association, the AMMA, in India, and he's chairman of the Punjab State Agricultural Implements Manufacturers Association. Mr. Baldev, I see you're an expert, and we are looking forward to your presentation. The stage is yours.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Klaus. And
So now at the moment we cannot hear you anymore. You're muted. Still now? It should work. Very good. Looks good. Perfect.
I hope you can see. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah, full screen and then it's perfect.
Okay. Doing it.
On slideshow, a little bit on the right.
Yeah, at the moment I'm unable to do it. Okay. I would ask the host kindly to help me in that. She is having the PPT. She can run from there.
Okay. So you first have to stop your presentation here, and then
Okay. Okay.
maybe our host can do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Looks good.
Okay. First of all, I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to present the India country report on the agriculture machinery industry as an overview of what the industry is. Next, please. Yeah. As far as Indian agriculture is concerned, it is #1 in world ranking in the milk, jute, and total pulses, whereas it is #2 in rice, wheat, fruits and vegetables, tea, and #3 in groundnut, egg, and cotton production. Yeah. Next. Yeah. So if we think that what is the size of the Indian agricultural machinery industry, it is currently 6.5 billion, and the share of the tractor industry is about 81%. And this industry is going at the rate of about 7 to 8%. It is also estimated that it may be growing in the next 5 years by 10.7%. But being on the conservative side, let us assume that, understand that it will go about 7%. Next, please. So the drivers of this agricultural machinery industry growth are the tractors. So in its segment, India is one of the largest producer of the four-wheel tractors. And if we see that in the 5 years, the production has almost doubled. And in last year, despite the pandemic and the situation the world is in, 863,000 tractors were produced. Next, please. Yeah, the key growth drivers of the agricultural machinery industry are the one is the government policy of rural development through agro-mechanization. There are various government subsidy schemes through which the government is promoting the farm mechanization by giving a subsidy to the tune of 50% to the farmer, somewhere it is 40%. So there is a scheme, Submission on Agriculture Mechanization, that is called SMAM. And then in the last 3 years, a new scheme in the northern part of India, the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Delhi, a new scheme for the crop residue management. It was started. And it was a very big scheme, about 600 crores of rupees in the INR were given each year to reduce the stubble burning after the paddy crop. So a pollution was a big thing. So the government of India gave a lot of subsidy to the farmers for adopting machinery to remove the burning of the paddy stubble. On some of the special high-tech agriculture equipments, the government of India has reduced the import duties. And the development of India, that is the large-scale migration from rural to urban areas due to education and development, there is a shortage of labor in the agricultural operations, and that has given a blessing in disguise to the agricultural machinery industry, where they are looking for the machinery since the labor is day by day getting short. And then the farmers have understood the use of machinery that ensure high productivity in less time with little human effort. Next, please. But there are also key deterrents to the growth, whereas especially to the foreign companies, which when they are trying to enter into India, the average farm size is less than 2 hectares. So it is very difficult for farmers to own and use big machinery on these small farms. Although the government has recently introduced custom hiring centers, and they have approved the custom hiring scheme as one of the business models, so that any person can open a machinery bank and open a custom hiring center for the small farmers to use the big machinery on higher basis. But still, this has to be picked up. The financing is not easily available for the agricultural machinery. Although the many finance institutes are giving finance, almost all are giving finance for the buying of tractors. But for the agricultural machinery specifically, there is not much companies which are giving finance. If you have started, and let us hope that this increase. Next, please. If we look at the import and export, I will take only last year data that about 1,024 million of USD agriculture machinery was exported from India, and the tractor again contributed to the 66% of this. And import was only 316 million, and mostly not big machinery was imported. Only small this hand operated or small power operated equipment were imported mostly from China. And in the recent times, the government of India has put restrictions on the import of two-wheel tractors from China especially, so it may also reduce the import figure further in the year to come. So the reason, yeah, next please. The reason for this very less import in comparison with the export is that the Indian agriculture machinery industry itself is indigenous industry is very strong, and they are manufacturing the this machinery according to the local needs of the farmers. I will just go through a few machines which are popular one, and I will just sharing with you the quantities which are annually produced and used by the farmers. So like it's a cultivator that is a Tyne cultivator that is called. Around, it is estimated that about 75,000 of cultivators are produced every year. Next. Next, please. And the disc harrows, about 50,000 disc harrows are produced annually. Next. So this is very interesting. The rotavators, about 150,000 rotavators are produced annually. And the Shaktiman has become world's largest producer of the rotavators. And there is a very big market for rotavators, and all the spare parts and all the things are manufactured in India. There is a lot of blades for rotavators are imported from Italy and from Japan also, but all these machines are built in India. Next, please. Seeders and planters, about 60,000, these are produced annually. Next, please. Threshers, 60,000 threshers annually are produced. This is one of the popular machines. So combine harvesters, 7,000 combine harvesters are produced annually by the industry. And if you see on the left, there is a combine harvester with the John Deere tractor on top of it. So this is an innovation by the local industry where the tractor, which is remaining, if a combine remains useless for the rest of the year, but a tractor, you can just put it on the top of a harvester and use it as a power unit. And then later on, when the harvesting is complete, the tractor can be taken off and put the wheels, and then it can be used as a tractor. So that was the combine harvester. This is a straw reaper, again an innovation by the local industry where the straw which is left by the combine after combine harvesting is chopped into small pieces and loaded into a trailer for cattle feeding. So this is again a local innovation according to the need of the farmers. Next. Next, please. Yeah. So what are the factors which are influencing buying for the farmers? So it is a price sensitive market. So price affordability is one of the major issues. And the second is that availability of subsidy on the machine. Since government is giving subsidy on almost all kind of machines, even some of these subsidies are given by the state governments to top up the central subsidy. In some of the machines, the subsidy is 50%, 40% to 50%. And if a custom hiring center or a society, cooperative society is buying, the 80% subsidy is also given by the government for buying the machines. So the farmers, I think they are following this formula all over the world, but in India it is very strongly followed, that 3F formula. I say it is farmer follows fellow farmers. So if one farmer is satisfied, so you do not need any advertisement for him. The other one will be automatically convinced. So the influence of dealers, sorry, can we go one back, please? Yeah. Influence of dealers and their after sale service and availability of spares is also one of the key issues which the farmers looks at while buying the machine. Yeah. Next, please. So what the foreign companies can do to enter into the Indian agriculture machinery market? So one is need to join hands with a good local company to enter for entry into the Indian market. So I mean, the merely exporting and selling does not work. So like Abhishek is here, so Shaktiman Grimme has started jointly for the Indian market. Similarly, there is a need to find a local partner. Only then the foreign company can make a very good impression or very good market. This is what I feel. I have explained to many foreign friends in Italy as well as in other countries. So to get the subsidy, I mean, as I have told that without subsidy, the subsidy influences the farmer's decision. So to qualify for the various government subsidy programs, the machines need to be tested from government testing centers. So for that, I mean, first, any machine coming into India, it cannot directly go to the subsidy programs for the farmers. It has to be tested from the government approved testing centers. There are about 35 of them. So that is very necessary. And one more thing, that the size of the machinery in Germany is very large as compared to the land holding in India. So the machinery size has to be scaled down according to the need of the Indian farmers. This is all which I had to share with you, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Baldev. That was a really
opportunity.
Thank you. That was an impressive insight, and especially on your last slide, you gave a very clear message to manufacturers of Germany as well, where there could be potentials to work together or to import into your country. Thank you for that, and we will go in that for later on in the discussion. With our second speaker, we jump from the subcontinent of India more to the eastern part, to Myanmar. There, Mr. Naing Win, the Deputy Director General of the Agricultural Mechanization Department, will give us insights into the mechanization and situation and the trade of technology in his country, in Myanmar. So let's see if there are differences to India. So, Mr. Naing, I will take over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Klaus. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. First of all, I am delighted and honored to attend this opening ceremony of virtual Asia Pacific Trading Summit. I would like to thank DLG for inviting me to this most impressive event here today on behalf of my department, Agriculture Mechanization Department, under the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Irrigation. First, Myanmar's main economic sector is mainly dependent on agriculture, which contributes 22.4% of GDP, and exports are also dependent on agriculture products. Today, due to shorter irrigation time and reduced rainfall because of climate change around the world, cultivation needs to be done in a timely manner, and on the other hand, farm workers are moving to neighboring cities and countries, which have higher incomes than farm work. It is imperative to use agriculture machinery and equipment to ensure timely land preparation, transplanting, and harvesting. The Agriculture Mechanization Department is encouraging farmers to improve their socio-economic status and develop the agriculture sector by using more and more high-quality agriculture machinery in accordance with Myanmar farm conditions and transitioning to a modern mechanized farming system. AMD is supporting the following activities to help farmers develop and use agriculture machinery: improvement of custom hiring services for sustainable agriculture mechanization, development of systematic mechanized farmlands with farm rows, irrigation canals, drainage, and suitable sites for farm machinery for effective and efficient use, transformation of shifting cultivation into modern terrace farming system in upland areas, distribution of farm machinery and equipment to farmers through installment plan with small amount of initial payment to increase utilization of machines in farming activities, expansion of technical knowledge dissemination on agriculture mechanization and research and development activities. For mechanization in the agriculture sector, since 1993, AMD has been distributing power tillers on a hire purchase basis to enable farmers to use farm equipment in their farm works. So far, not only power tillers, but also treaders, combine harvesters, transplanters, and treader implements are being sold to farmers with cash down and installment payments. Since the distribution of agriculture machinery and equipment depended on the approval of the state budget, AMD has collaborated with the private companies to launch an installment system in 2016 for farmers who want to purchase them, with an initial investment of 10% of the value of the machine. In addition, the Myanmar Agriculture Development Bank has been distributing agriculture machinery on an installment basis under the JICA loan program from the 2017-2018 fiscal year. The cooperative department also sells agriculture machinery and equipment in installments with an Asian bank loan. Private companies are also affiliated with private banks and are selling to farmers on a higher purchases basis. Due to the distribution of farm machinery with installment payment by the state and the private sector, power tillers, tractors, and combine harvesters are increasingly being used in farm works. However, the development of agriculture machinery utilization is limited to land preparation and harvesting works for paddy cultivation. Equipment for transplanting, plant carrying, drying, and storage for paddy and other crops are still in great demand. AMD is implementing the following agriculture mechanization and import policy to help and support increased use of world-adapted quality farm machineries and equipment in an effort to transform into modern agriculture mechanization system. To support the process of transforming the traditional farming system into mechanized farming system by introducing post-harvest and value-added agriculture and livestock production machineries and equipment, aiming to enhance the production of high-quality products. To support capacity building to agro-based industries in the area of production technologies and use of modern machineries and equipment to enhance value-added processing for export. To support basic infrastructure development and upgrading initiatives in order to produce high-quality agriculture and livestock products, aiming to have access to international market and guarantee food safety. To support for further development of cooperative enterprise in addition to the existing microfinance schemes, acquisition of farm machineries and equipment, and imports with installed payment. Myanmar has 90.65 million hectares of cropland in 2019-2020 fiscal year. Monsoon paddy 6.06 million hectares, summer paddies 0.94 million hectares, past 4.04 million hectares, sesame 1.52 million hectares, peanuts 1.11 million hectares, maize 0.83 million hectares, wheat 0.59 million hectares, sunflower 0.25 million hectares, cotton 0.17 million hectares, sugarcane 0.31 million hectares, and other crops 3.83 million hectares were cultivated. The status of agriculture machinery owned by farmers in Myanmar is as follows. The examination of Myanmar's farmland area and list of agriculture machinery reveals that only seedbed preparation has been achieved for mechanized agriculture and much more is needed for other processes. Various types of brands of farm machinery are currently being imported into the country by private companies. AMD conducts research on farm machinery to ensure that they are suitable for Myanmar field conditions and disseminates technical knowledge to local farmers and private industries. AMD is undertaking research on the agriculture machinery and equipment such as power harrow, ban maker, seeder, reaper binder, corn harvester, potato digger, sprayer, dryer, etc. The level of utilization of farm machinery at various stages of crop processing is still low compared to other rice-producing and exporting countries. The range of the equipment is not wide enough to facilitate diversification of agriculture. AMD is also planning on the development of farm machinery for precision and protect agriculture, such as drone sprayer, hay agriculture, horticulture, recovery and management of crop residues, etc. Farmers face the following challenges in accessing agriculture machinery. improper machinery maintenance, can't afford to buy machinery, small plots of farmland and inadequate equipment, the need to change farming methods, crop prices are not yet granted. Therefore, the following activities are needed to increase the use of agriculture equipment in Myanmar. Introduce more agriculture machinery that can be used in Myanmar fields. Provide training on agriculture machinery, repair and maintenance, and the emergence of private repair workshops. Expand finance to a systematic mechanized one. Provide financial support programs and long-term installment plans to purchase agriculture machinery. Change farming system to suit the use of machinery. Develop private custom hiring service associations. In conclusion, AMD would like to request all relevant organizations to involve and help farmers in improving the use of machinery in their farms. And we want to cooperate vigorously with international agriculture machinery companies and other organizations like us, our collaboration with local companies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Naing, for your impressive presentation of Myanmar. And the last slide, I know it was a joint event in 2019 where we both together organized the AGRITECHNICA Asia Field Days in Myanmar. That was an impressive event. And also there I learned that Myanmar is really keen on having new technology, and you showed how to maybe find ways to follow this aim. So before we leave Southeast Asia, we will travel to your neighboring country, Mr. Naing, to Thailand. There, Dr. Kittiyopas, Inspector General of the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives and President of the Thai Society of Agricultural Engineering, could actually, unfortunately, not join us personally today. Nevertheless, she shared her knowledge and sent us a video message. And well, here we go. Let's see what comes out of Thailand. Please start the video message of Dr. Devs.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you in AGRITECHNICA Asia Digital. Today, I would like to share about the Thailand short introduction for agricultural machinery market of the last year, 2020. Change, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. May I introduce myself? I'm Dares Kittiyopas. I am the Inspector General of the Ministry of Agricultural and Cooperatives, and also be the President of the Thai Society of Agricultural Engineering, Thailand. Next, please. Yeah. For the total agricultural products export value in 2018, it was around 1.4 trillion Thai baht. If we convert to US dollar, it has to be divided by 30 Thai baht per US dollar. Yeah. Next, please. Yes, our important crops by value. The first one is the para rubber. And next is rice, fruits, cassava, sugarcane, and vegetable. Next, please. Yeah, come to the agricultural machinery uses in Thailand. First, about the tractor in 2019. We have the most of tractor of the pedestrian tractor. It is 6.6 million tractors. A little bit bigger one, the 24 to 50 horsepower. It is 1.3 million tractors. For 51 to 80 horsepower, it is 378,000. For 81 to 100 horsepower, it is 189,000 tractors. And the biggest size of horsepower that we use, it is more than 100 horsepower. It is 87,000 machine, 87,000 tractors. For the machinery uses in Thailand, the land preparation, it is around 3 million machines of land preparation, 1.6 million for planting, 6.5 million for crop maintenance, and 1 million for harvester. Next, please. Yes, come to the value important of agricultural machinery. We import the tractor of 12,000 million Thai baht. The land preparation, 742 million Thai baht, and 3,700 for crop maintenance, and 3,500 for harvester. Next, please. Yeah. For the exported value in 2018, 19,000 million Thai baht for tractors, 1,900 billion Thai baht for land preparation, 700 for crop maintenance, and 9,300 for harvesting. Yes, next. Yeah, for the ratio of export and import value of agricultural machinery, for tractor, the export per import ratio is 7.1. The land preparation, it is 2.6. The crop maintenance, it is 0.2. And the harvesting is 2.68. Which back please. Which I would like to show this figure that we are the country that also import and export, and if you can see that the tractor, land preparation, and harvesting, we have export more than import. We also be the country that import and also export by local made, by production in Thailand, and also we are the re-export country. Yes, thank you. Next, please. Yeah, about the situation of the labor and machine use, the figure said that from 2003 to 2013, we the 77% of decreasing in labor for that 10 years, and for the increasing of use of machinery is 18%. So it is like 1/4 in increasing machine instead of the decreasing in labor. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah, about the farmland holding. The average of the farmland holding is 14 rai, which is around 2.3 hectare per household. And our farmer has their own farm for 80%, and this 80% they have 2.3 hectare in their in their farmland holding. Yes. Yeah, go to our policy. So you can see that the farmland holding is very small. It is only 2.3 hectare per family. So we have the problem of about the land fragmentation issue. Then we have the policy about the collaborative farm, which are designed and implemented to tackle the land fragmentation issue. And the collaborated farmers will act as a single entity. They will have the soft loan to buy agricultural machinery, but they have to buy by the group of the collaborative farmers. They cannot buy the machinery individually. So for individual, they cannot use this soft loan. And right now, until now, we have over 6,000 of collaborative farm in Thailand by last year, 2020. And also this year will be more. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah. For the trend of farm machinery in Thailand, in my point of view, the modern farm machinery needs by young farmers. So I think that they need the machinery that modern and more accuracy. The drone sprayer become the popular machine, and about the need, the affordable automatic mechanization are need, like the tractor guidance system, the precision machinery, and the multi-spectral drone and satellite decision supporting system service provider. Because the young farmer, they are the educated people, and they many of them would like to invest their farmland, their family land. So they would like to make the new style of farming. So that is the next era that I think that it should be. Yes, next. Thank you very much for your attention.
So also you cannot be with us, Dr. Dare. Thank you for this video message. And maybe you or some of your colleagues is listening to us or looking at the videos as well. And maybe we can also have some discussion later on Thailand as well. So now we have been to several countries, so to India, to Myanmar, and to Thailand, and with very specific conditions there. And in all countries, German machinery is well known. And well, now it's time to really go to Germany and to talk to Mr. Alexander Haus of the Mechanical Engineering Industry Association, the VDMA. So since 2005, Mr. Haus is in the International Projects Department of the VDMA and is heading and coordinating the activities of foreign markets like Southeast Asia. So, Mr. Haus, what is the point of view of your association to the market in Southeast Asia? So, stage is yours. We are listening to your outlines. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Erdle. So good morning, good afternoon to everybody. I hope you can hear me well. So I will now trying to share my presentation with you.
Yeah, looks good. Only full screen and then it's perfect.
Yes, is what I'm trying now. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. I will already switch to the next slide, right? So with more than 170 companies, VDMA Agricultural Machinery represents around 90% of the industry sales in Germany. Of total, around 30,000 permanent employers work for the approximately 200 German agricultural machinery manufacturers. The agricultural machinery sector is not only made up of large multinational offering the entire product range of agricultural machinery and tractors, so-called full liners. There are also numerous medium-sized specialists on the market, often run as family businesses. The positive development of the industry is reflected in sales figures. You can see it here. So the production in 2020, which is not on this chart, as I can see, because we have only the approximate figures, but we can say that we reached a remarkable value of 8.5 billion euros last year, with around 6.5 billion euros sold to the worldwide markets. So the export quota remains on the level of 75%. With that, we can proudly say that German manufacturers of agricultural machinery are really #1 in exports of agricultural machinery worldwide. If we have a look on the structure of German agricultural machinery production, so in the first place, of course, are tractors with a share of 50%, followed by harvesting machinery, in particular combine harvesters, stating for 25%. Important segments are also soil cultivation, seeding machinery, transport technology, a very important part of agricultural machinery. But we shouldn't forget about indoor farming and, of course, of the manufacturers of parts and components. German manufacturers, our member companies, are among the technological leading companies worldwide, providing reliable, efficient, and high-performance agricultural machinery. I would like to highlight the very high share of investment in research and development of around 4% of the annual turnover. In the next two slides, I would like to show you what's going on in the agricultural machinery worldwide. And as you can see here, the COVID virus outbreak also caused damage to agricultural machinery, especially in the first half of 2020. But I think we altogether were really lucky and pushing forwards to leave it behind. And already in the second half, you see the significant trend towards recovery. And in the beginning of 2021, we are already in the boom phase. So, which means that the current expectations are looking good, and also the future expectations are looking even better. So, if we try to break it down to different regions, as you can see here, I think you are not very surprised that continents or parts of of our planet with efficient agriculture are heading the race. So North America in the first place, South America in the second position, followed by the European Union and the CIS region. In the middle, or in the second half, you see that also countries in Eastern Asia, here also, of course, China, Japan, Korea, and countries in Southeastern Asia are also in a good position where their mood is improving, and I think more than 50% are at least quite positive in terms of agricultural machinery business. And the rest of Asia, this starts for us with Middle East, countries like Iran, for example, important market for agricultural machinery, but also Pakistan and India and the same group. So is a bit less favorable compared to the previous mentioned reasons. So in my presentation with regards to the markets in Southeastern Asia as well as India, I have picked two. One of them is India. Probably there will be a little bit of repetition of what Mr. Singh already mentioned, but I will try to give you an overview on different customer clusters and also a bit of a regional split and what we need to pay attention to. And the second country, which I think is not in focus today, but quite important also for agricultural machinery business in the region, are Philippines, with quite a remarkable development in sales in 2018 and 2019. So, but let's have a look on India first. So here you see different climate zones, and I think I will not go deeper in this subject and switch to the next one. So basically, if we have a look on different customer clusters, we have divided between 5 of them: farmers, private farmers, contractors, and on the next page you see customer hiring centers, cooperatives, governmental organizations, and NGO. But I will first go back. So with, as Mr. Singh already mentioned, a lot of farms in India are very small in size, with only few, basically in the northern part of India, which have more than 10 hectares. But you shouldn't forget that often land is cultivated by the extended family. So other family members, neighbors are working on land, and so even the plots are small, but due to the activities, you can do a lot of work on the accumulated plots, which gives you a possibility to work on another approach. So with contractor business, this is picking up and gain importance, especially when it comes to harvesting machinery. Customer hiring centers, I think this is a very important cluster, has it been for various years, and is already gaining more importance. So this is a kind of phenomena very typical for India. So you as a farmer have access to custom hiring centers where you can have a contracting work. And I think this is a very important cluster you as a manufacturer have to pay attention to. Cooperative farms, there has been a network of cooperatives, local, regional, state, and national level. We must observe what will be the role of the government. So comparing to China, which I have quite a lot of experience with, cooperatives are not a model which is so far have been pushed by the Indian government. So we may see some improving situation in the near future, since, at least in our opinion, the government under Mr. Modi is paying much more attention to agriculture in India. So If we try to give an overview on the situation in 2020, I think we were quite lucky overall. So significant rainfall, rise in yields for the most of the crops. Farmers have reported of rising prices for staple crops, especially rice, wheat, and corn. There have been some restrictions due to COVID virus outbreak, and so far a bit less of trade with neighbor countries like Myanmar and Bangladesh. But one thing already mentioned, government has started to pay much more attention to the farming sector than previous years. So increasing, for example, reference purchase prices for staple crops, providing funds and soft loans, and so on. And I think most of these things Mr. Singh has already mentioned. And I think we have been so far also quite lucky that the virus outbreak had a minimal impact on agricultural industry in India. I think because the agriculture is placed in the remote rural areas, and there have been some exemptions from lockdown, and of course increasing demand for food and animal feed. Also, a little bit of the view on the regional split. I think, yes, as for the professional farms, and most of them are in the northern part, in Punjab, Haryana, UP, producing a lot of rice, wheat, beans, and potatoes. We have observed some professional farms arising also in the MP, north of Rajasthan, in Gujarat. In the rest of the country, especially in central and south India, these provinces or states, I think this is the right word for India, are still dominated by small and subsistence family-run farms. For tractor market, this is really huge, is one of the biggest in the world, but also here, the most of the tractors are in the category between 40 and 50 horsepower, with only very few of them above 70 horsepower. And no surprise that most of them are produced locally. What is now playing an important role is straw and residue management for farms planting wheat, rice, and maize and sugarcane. And if I will try to summarize the results of our survey in India, which is the base for my presentation, I can really say that there is rising mechanization level due to labor shortage, due to higher professional requirements toward operators. The government is playing a very important role, and in the last 2 years, quite a positive one, providing funds, financial schemes. I have mentioned different customer clusters. One of them, very important, customer hire centers, but also contracting business is gaining importance. Yes, we are very much in the north of the country, but we also have to pay attention to further states like MP or Tamil Nadu in the south, which have a high potential for mechanization to join the race. Yes, and agriculture depends on the rainfall. Most of the farmers are small, and modern technological solutions are welcome, but they have to be affordable. We have to find solution how to sell the machines. Price is very important, but also access to financing, good warranty, and not to forget low life cycle costs. And this is a phenomena of the last 2-3 years. We have been facing a very tough competition coming from China. I think the acceptance of the machines produced in China is now much higher than it has been in previous years. So I think we will see even more China's machinery in India in the next years. With this, I would like to switch to Philippines, where we also conducted a market study at the end of 2019. And here we see 3 regions I would like to highlight. So we have the northern part, so-called Luzon, with a production of corn and rice. In the middle of the country, with many small islands, we have more or less the production of rice and sugar cane. And in the south, there's also sufficient production of rice and corn. And I think the difference between Philippines, for example, to Thailand or Vietnam, that in Philippines we have quite a sufficient share of dryland farming. So rice is important, that's for sure, but also other crops are gaining some importance. And you can see it here also in the crop production list in the middle of this table. So sugar cane in the first place, rice in the second, and maize in the third. If we have a look on the mechanization in agriculture, this is for sure growing. I think the country is now on the stage where the most of the 2-wheel tractors have been replaced by the 4-wheel tractors, so already going up to 80% mechanization. However, the mechanization for seeding and planting and also virtualize and spraying is still very low. I think there is a very big gap, and I hope that it can be closed by some new technology also from our member companies. Yes, harvesting, still a lot of manual work, but for rice and also corn, there have been reported that harvesting machinery has been imported to the country. And I think this is very important and probably quite typical for many countries in Southeastern Asia, maybe with the exception of Thailand, as mentioned previously. So 60 to 70% of the machines which are utilized in agriculture are machines which are imported from other countries. China in the first place, of course, Thailand also quite strong in agricultural machinery production. So the share of machinery from European Union, especially from Germany, is not very high. But I have here the figures of 2018, and we were close to 260 million euro of imports of agricultural machinery, which is, I would say, quite a good value. So if you compare it with countries of European Union, you are probably somewhere where what we see in Bulgaria or in Slovakia. So also probably at the end of my presentation, trying to summarize what we have found out in our survey in the Philippines. Might be also a little bit typical also for other countries in Southeastern Asia. So we have a labor shortage and urbanization in the first place. We have quite a large and growing population, which needs food and also high quality food. We have relatively good conditions for agriculture. So in many places you can have 2 harvests per year. We have a strong governmental support. So the role of the government is absolutely crucial. So, and I think this is the same for all countries in the region. And yes, we have some larger farms which are mostly in dry land agriculture. And this is probably a bit of phenomena for Philippines, that that the higher margins are realized in the production of tropical foods. And this was quite interesting for me in 2018. We saw a lot of balers, smaller balers, also produced in Europe, delivered to Philippines. And I asked myself, what are these balers for? So, of course, some of them are used also for straw of rice and corn. But I learned also that many of them are used to utilize the green mass which is left after the harvest of pineapples. So this is also probably a bit new for European agricultural machinery manufacturers, but we have to pay attention also to some, I would say, exotic niche applications for us. And for the market barriers, yes, we need to pay attention on government support. So especially in Philippines, if you want to create sufficient business, you have to be on certain schemes, leasing schemes and funding of the Philippine governments, and otherwise it will be hard for you to sell the machines. And I think what we will see in the next years, that the downstream industries will be improved. So the processing of agricultural crops and goods into the high value products, this is already on the way. So also if we see the infrastructure and transportation possibilities in the country, this will be improved. But last but not least, we have to pay attention to the high susceptibility to typhoons and flooding. The region is very vulnerable, so there are a lot of natural catastrophes, and this will be probably not less in the next years. So I hope it was interesting for you, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them.
Thank you, Mr. Haus. Perfect. That was a really good overview about the activities of German manufacturers and the VDMA in Southeast Asia, India, and Philippines as examples. Perfect that. And as you said, everybody can ask questions through the Q&A button on the lower side of your screen. Put them in there, and I will read them out to later on in the discussion. But before we come to the discussion, Mr. Haus is a representative of the association in Germany, but now let's go directly to the companies, which is often quite more interesting for the practitioners at the end. And therefore, we are lucky to have some representatives of German manufacturers here with us, and they briefly introduce about their knowledge and experience. And we will start with the company of Klaas and with Mr. Jan-Klaus Tobias. He's Managing Director of Klaas Regional Center Southeast Asia. Mr. Tobias, stage is yours.
Dr. Erdle, many thanks for inviting me and giving me the chance to present today. Briefly, I will try to make it as short as possible, but still give you a comprehensive overview of our company and our activities in Southeast Asia. So many of you might know the company Klaas. We are a German family-owned company, about 4 billion euros of turnover. We are a producer of agricultural machinery. That means primarily we are known from combine harvesters, but also tractors and balers, of course. And to come probably quickly to the remark of Alexander Haus.
Could you make full screen of your presentation? We see it still in the editing version.
All right. Then,
yeah.
Okay.
Looks better. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
All right. I hope it's visible in a better way now. So to the remark of Alexander Haus just mentioned, baling pineapple leaves. Claas is doing this in south of China already, but we are looking forward to come to the Philippines to bale with our machines also there the pineapple leaves. About our setup here in Southeast Asia and about my person quickly, I joined Claas in 2001. By background, industrial engineer. I worked in Asia for almost 13, 14 years by now. I've been in India for 2 years, in Southeast Asia in the previous term already for about 6 years. In the last 4 years, I've been in China in charge of the sales and service organization there. And if you talk about our setup here in Southeast Asia, we are managing all the markets all around China and India in Asia. We have a small setup here, but we are in the heart of Asia from Bangkok. We have the advantage here to be very close in Indochina, in the market, and just a couple of hours by car away from the rice field. So very close to the market. And if you look at the next slide here, we are also having distribution partners. This is our main approach into the market, to go with partners. We are in Japan and Korea for many decades already, 20, 30 years already. And if you look into the markets in Southeast Asia, we are already there for, in many countries, for about 10 years since we've established our regional presence here in Bangkok. In terms of products, just briefly here again, you might see some products that you know of Claas, so forage harvesters on the right side. So these are the top-end, top-notch products. We have, of course, tractors in the portfolio as well as combine harvesters on the high-end side. But we have also a product portfolio that is more suitable for Southeast Asian markets. Tractor starting from 50 horsepower. Here you can see the Talos tractor working in a Thai field. We have also on the top here a corn harvester. This is most likely in Myanmar working. And on the right-hand side, you see our machines in Thailand in renewable crops, like, for example, here, Napier grass and the baler here in sugarcane trash. So quite a wide, diverse field of machineries that we are offering in a very diverse market. To give you more of an idea, I would like to just show you a couple of pictures, and then I'll be almost finished.
So your slides are only going forward very slowly. Loading maybe cannot be seen. Maybe we knew our partners, our host can play the video, it would be better.
And if you cannot see it, by the way, we have also a YouTube channel. So if you visit us on Claas Southeast Asia on YouTube, you just need to look for it. You will find the videos there as well. Otherwise, if you can play it, you can do it also later on. And that's basically all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that small impression of Claas. Thank you, and hopefully we will join the discussion later on. I guess there will be at least some questions for you as well. And we jump now directly to Mr. Abhishek Singh. He's a Joint Chief Executive Officer of Shaktiman and Grimme Root Crop Solution, which already Mr. Baldev mentioned earlier in his talk. And we are happy to have you here and see your presentation.
Good day to everybody. A very warm welcome from very cold Germany. I'm very happy here today to present Shaktiman Grimme Root Crop Solutions Private Limited, which is a 50-50 joint venture company in India. So I have 5 minutes today. I'll try to keep it very concise. Quickly run you through the agenda, a little bit of introduction about the history of two companies, the rationale or the objectives behind forming the JV, and we'll quickly run you through the product portfolio that we have to offer in India. So to begin with, Grimme is close to 160 years old company, founded in 1861. Predominantly, we are the market leaders in sugar beet and potato technology. But if you look at the last 20, 30 years, we have diversified into root crop solutions as well. And this is through our acquisition of a Danish company called Asalift and acquisition of a company in the US called Sputnik. So traditionally, Grimme has always gone forward and acquired companies, increased the market share. And if you look at the timeline, 2019 was an exception, wherein we said, okay, we do something different in India that we have never done anywhere, right? And then we founded this joint venture together with Shaktiman. Shaktiman is a trade name. The company name is AGRITECHNICA. This company was founded in 1997, and you can see within a span of 15 years, they became the world leaders in rotary tillers or rotovators, as they're called in India, right? And there has been massive scale-up operations happening at the company, and they have gone into balers, sugarcane harvesters, sprayers, and tons of other products, right? So export is a very strong advantage of Shaktiman, and also 650 odd dealerships that they have across India and globally. So also for Shaktiman, this joint venture is the first for them. And so for Grimme as a company, it was a long journey in India. We started our own company in 2014. We tried to do the export-based business model, but what did we learn being an independent German company in India, right? So we had our key learnings, some surprising, some not, but to summarize it together, as some of the previous speakers have already mentioned, the land holding is very, very small, right? So you bring a machine from Germany, everybody looks at it, they appreciate the technology. Then they ask you the price. Oh, that's too expensive. Oh, it's good, but turning around in the field is a problem, right? How about you put this feature? How about you take that feature out, right? So we had our share of experience trying to really understand what the market need is. This is what Klaus Edler mentioned, that there is a gap between Asian need and what we as German manufacturers have to offer. And the key is really to find the balance, what is needed and what's not, right? Again, India is a very price sensitive market, heavily based on subsidies. So it's important that you be a local manufacturer to be, to test your machines at the testing centers, getting approved, getting listed on the subsidy list. So it's a long process, and often foreign companies are not able to do that, right? Now, if I talk about opportunities, India has post-harvest losses in the tune of 30 to 40%. And if you look at our experience here in Europe, we are at the range of 4 to 5%, right? So there is a huge scope of improvement. And we as a German company, we are capable of offering that. But again, the market is very informed. Long story short, they want German machinery at Indian price, right? So you have to somehow do things in India the Indian way, right? And the market is changing. Labor is a big problem, availability of labor. So the only way is to go about mechanization. And when I talk about mechanization, again, Baldev Singh, he mentioned 81% is actually tractor. So it's more of tractorization than mechanization. If you look at implements, it's very, very less, right? But we see a big potential there. Until now, traditionally, implements were designed around whatever tractors were available. But we see a trend wherein tractors are now being adapted to suit the implement. And I think that is a very, very positive change, and it's a radical change in its way. And to put it all together, the solutions we see is localization, definitely develop what the market needs instead of imposing what you already have. Because most of the land holdings are small, the way to go about it is cooperative farming or adoption of custom hiring model, right? You see this model very, very successful in states like Gujarat and in crops like paddy. It has to also reflect in other root crops like potato, onion, garlic, or many other. But we see that happening in the near future, right? So that is why we said, all right, we find a partner, we find a very strong partner, because sales is important, but more than that, service is what counts, right? So you need to have a very good dealer network with parts availability. And the first thing we put on the list is localization, right? Take out every fancy thing out of the machine, just focus on functionality. What is it that the farmer wants to pay for, right? And then if you look at the tractors availability in India, you still have most of the tractors below sub 50 horsepower range. Now, taking a long-term perspective into consideration, let's say the tractor utilization goes to 70 HP. So we said, all right, we have this long-term vision. We see how much the market can grow in the 10-20 years time frame, let's say. So we said we develop all the machines until 75 HP. We don't talk about bigger machines. We talk about only the basics, right? And when you are offering something, it has to be a foolproof solution. It has to be complete, right? So the focus of our company is to engage and develop product for every process, right? From land preparation until post-harvest. And that is what we are delivering. So at the end, the company has Grimme on it. So it's Shaktiman Grimme. And we are known for reliability and durable machines. At the same time, we make use of the Indian manufacturing. So we bring down the cost, and at the end, we try to offer what the customer wants. That is German machinery at Indian price, right? I remember this slide from Baldev saying he had 4 points mentioned there. What do foreign companies need, or what do they have to do to be successful? And it's encouraging to see that we have done all those 4 steps. So it's good to see that validation, right? And when we talk about root crops, as I said, Grimme traditionally or basically is the market leader in potato. But we are not confined to potato crop in India. We want to do all the crops, right? All the root crops. So the focus is onion, garlic, ginger, turmeric, and of course, potatoes. And if you look at the long-term ambition of the company, we do want to first expand fully in India, but it's not confined to India. Southeast Asia is a very big market for us, and we are already taking the right steps to also offer the product there. So if you need more information about the company, you can just drop me an email. You see the contacts. You can ask me any questions also after my presentation, and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. That was a quite good presentation about also bringing together the different needs of the different players in the market. Thank you for that. And last but not least, Harald Baumgart, you're the CEO of Step Systems Germany, and we are looking forward to your presentation now.
Yeah, thanks, Klaus. I would like to ask the host to start the presentation. Yeah, thank you. So Step Systems is a small but very fine company. What are we doing? We have been developing, we have been producing, and we have been, of course, marketing equipment, measuring technology, particularly for the use for the application in horti and in agriculture. So we have a close look on the plant nutrition or the fertilization in order to obtain an optimal plant growth and to obtain and receive best possible yields. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Well, this is our latest development. It's a combined instrument to measure the and check the basic parameters for an optimal plant nutrition. This is the pH. Please go on. Yeah, pH, the EC, the salt concentration, and the soil moisture. I will refer to soil moisture a bit later again. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, another highlight in our portfolio is the LASA Agro, this spectrophotometer. Please continue. This is an easy to use and a very reliable instrument, a complete analysis system. Please proceed this slide. Please proceed. Yeah, and again. And again. Okay, this is an easy to use and very comfortable, very sophisticated complete system to measure all macro and micro elements. There's no chemical background needed, so everyone can do those analyses. Next slide, please. Yeah, again about this LASA Agro. By the way, if you need some more information on it, you can have a look at YouTube videos. You will find it if you search for LASA Agro in YouTube, you will find it in German and English and Russian languages. Okay, this is only a small extract of our portfolio. Next slide, please. But one very important issue we take care about is saving our natural resources, particularly water. And if you see here that from the whole water resources worldwide, only 0.25% is renewable fresh water. This is what we use for irrigation. And if we know that, next slide, please. Next slide, please. If we know that 70% of this fresh water is being used for agriculture, is being used for irrigation, then we have to think about this already existing problem, and we have to take into account what can we do. We have to take into account this still upcoming problem. So what we do is, next slide, please. What we do is we have focusing on our complete production, our complete development on fast and easy possibilities to measure the soil moisture. This, yeah, okay. We can measure it directly in the soil, but we can also measure it. Next slide, please. We can also measure it with attached components of this so-called T-Warner. This is a meter station. This does not only measure the most important climatic conditions, but it also gives forecasts of different plant diseases, of phytosanitary problems, etc., etc. So next slide, please. Yeah. One further, another important sector we are involved in are research projects. We do a lot of projects Here are two examples. One is the so-called N-phone. This is a project we have together with the Agricultural and Horticultural University in Munich, in Bavaria. What we want to do is we want to develop, we want to produce a system to use the iPhone in order to determine the nitrogen. You know, nitrogen is the most important growth parameter, and we want to make it easier, and this is why we have this project, this so-called N-phone project. Very ambitious, but we are on a good way. Another important project partners are the university in Stuttgart, Uni Hohenheim, and the CAU, this is the Chinese Agricultural University, is an approach to a sustainable agriculture. What are we doing? We have a drone. This drone is equipped with a high-resolution camera, with a hyperspectral camera. It is equipped with an additional fluorescent camera. What we do is we do imaging of cotton plants, and simultaneously we do complete analysis, chemical analysis on nitrogen, on phosphate, potassium. We do analysis on the soil moisture, and later on we want to have an algorithm correlation between all those images, which must be evaluated, those images and the chemical condition of the soil. And then we want to, later on, we want to see whether it will be possible only by making those images to provide a good status of the plants. It's very interesting, will cost a lot of time, but thankfully we are supported by our federal Ministry of Agriculture, and also the Ministry of Education and Research. So you see that we are not only doing producing instruments, but of course we have to earn some money in order also to participate in those projects. So it is very important to go on with these developments, with those researches. And in Southeast Asia, we already have some good partners, but I think the whole market segment, agriculture, will continuously develop, and it will develop very, very fast. And we are happy to have this platform, this AGRITECHNICA Asia in Bangkok, to get familiar with all those interested growers, with those people, with those research institutes. And yeah, we are looking forward to meeting again physically, maybe in May in Bangkok. Thank you.
Thank you, Harald, for your presentation. And before we go into the discussion, I promise we will go to in that. I will offer class to show the video. So our host will show the video. It's only a few 10 seconds, because it's quite impressive one, and we actually want to show the ability of class, as the connection was not that good a few minutes ago. So let's start it now. Perfect. And that is a very good start for our open discussion now. and we already have some questions in our Q&A slot. So everybody who wants to ask questions is free to call them in the Q&A. And I will read out one question, and it's from Alain Leonard. So mechanization is important, but I do not see any of the companies wanting to change agricultural practices through advice. The rental solution is a good option, but the change of practices is the basis of everything, and what it's in the pipeline, therefore. So Alexander Haus, you already answered. Maybe you can answer it now again shortly, and we will go into the discussion with the others as well.
Yeah, I will try to. Maybe I haven't got the question right, but I think you're absolutely right if you are saying rental solutions should be offered in the market or in the whole region in Southeastern Asia. And I think we have heard it from previous speakers and also mentioned in my presentation that custom hiring centers in India are already offering solutions in many parts, in many states. And I think it's gaining importance. And in my eyes, it's quite a good solution, how it might work and might provide the support for the farmers. I'm not so familiar with other countries in the region, but I have heard from my colleagues that also similar solutions, custom hiring centers are also gaining importance in Thailand and also in Vietnam, probably also in Indonesia. But I think the way to go is still very long, and I think this is also a task for all of us to pay attention to this development. So maybe just a comment from my side, also to the organizers. Very good that you organize a networking event like this. And I think next time we can also invite one of the contractors from this region, or even a person who runs a custom hiring center in India or in other countries, so they can share their concerns and raise some additional issues which might be, beneficial for all of us. Thanks.
Thank you. That's a good point, and we will come to that back later on. So, Mr. Baldev, did you have any good experience with some such kind of hiring centers or collaborations where you say, okay, this is a good way to introduce new technologies and maybe also bigger technologies, because the connection to the farmer is closer than only on the open market?
Yes, there are a few examples now where the new and high-tech machines are being introduced to the custom hiring centers, and because the individual farmers cannot afford that. So for that reason, I mean, even in Punjab, earlier Grimme had introduced the potato harvesters on their own through some farmer associations, and the big machines like now the sugarcane harvesters, they are being provided to the sugar mills. They are giving it to the farmers on their own or through some cooperative societies and through the associations to a group of farmers, so that the small farmer can get the benefits of the high-tech technology by giving some price and not investing its capital money on the machinery itself.
Okay, thank you. And to Mr. Naing, also in your country, there is a rising, so your department is closely working with farmers and improving also infrastructure to make machine using possible at all. So do you also see some kind of centers or collaborations going on with your farmers to improve the use of new machinery?
custom hiring services for land preparation, transplanting, and harvesting in the private sector is being supported. AMD also helps with the establishment of private custom hiring associations to effectively implement more agriculture mechanization works. There are 135 associations in Myanmar.
Okay, thank you. And we had one question for Dr. Dares, actually. And I know that we have one message from her that she answers a question. And I asked her, so the German technology actually is well known for its quality, but of course also for its price, especially on the farmer side. And the latter one, also the high price, is often prevents the farmers to invest in this technology. Also, in the end, it would be more economical because the quality is better, the duration is better. So is there a way to increase the acceptance of the German technology or high quality technology? Because often we hear from farmers also in Southeast Asia that there is bought quite cheap technology because it's affordable. But then after a few years, it's broken or the quality is not that good anymore. And I guess, I hope our host will show the answer of Dr. Dares from Thailand now. Is it possible? Oh, that looks good. Hopefully it's running. If not, anybody else can have an answer. Maybe also somebody from Mr. Tobias from class have an idea how we can improve this acceptance of, or how do you do it actually to improve the acceptance of your high quality products? Yeah,
but I believe there are two approaches that are possible here. So one side, of course, is to adapt your product portfolio. This is the same approach that probably Grimme is doing together with Shaktiman, where you see a market-adapted product being launched in the product into the market with the right channel. So the channel is important to get to the market, to becoming close to the end customer at the end of the day. You need to show to the farmers, you need to convince the farmers that the more expensive technology is actually working. There's no way around but showing it really in the field. So besides adapting your product portfolio to come probably down with the price and then let's say down spec the equipment, the other way is used equipment to bring in machines that are probably pre-owned in Europe or whatever with a couple of hours and then sell it as a used machine. We see that as a business model also in Thailand, by the way, with different kind of machines, for example, big balers that are running in sugarcane trash. So these are models where you as a brand can drive into the market through adapted product portfolio or through using pre-owned equipment.
Maybe Mr. Abhishek, you already had some experience on that. Maybe you can answer on that as well.
Yes, thank you. Firstly, thanks for the question, Alan. It's a very good question, I have to say. And change is something which is very subjective, I believe. And one needs to ask, what is the change that the market can accept? If I take our example from Grimme, we introduced this big bunker harvester machine for potatoes, which has a lot of automation and all that. The question really is, who is running this machine? Who is using the machine, right? If a farmer buys this machine in Germany, he is the one driving it. In India, it's probably somebody who is a school dropout or whatever. He is the one. So how much can he comprehend? How much can he understand the options that we are offering? So I think personally, change is good, but by nature, change is always resisted. So it has to be an incremental change from what the farmers or what the clients are doing at the moment. It has to first make that process effective, right? And once they have graduated to that level, then you can introduce new technology. It has to be in incremental steps. If you try to do a drastic change, everybody is going to appreciate that, but sorry to say, you don't have buyers for that, right? So that is how we see it. Also in custom hiring centers, entrepreneurs are willing to buy the machine, but it has to be something that is understandable, that is easy to work with. I think that is really what is needed.
Thank you, Abhishek. That's again, you made a very good point on that point of view. Harald Braunka, did you make similar experiences on your side? Because I know you do not have a big partner in Southeast Asia, so your company is more or less, well, maybe you correct myself, directly selling to customers in the country. How is it going from your side? Yeah, we need your.
Well, we have several distributors, but of course we see that you know, we have sophisticated instruments and we have some low-cost instruments, and the tendency is more or less, yeah, to use and to apply the low-cost instruments. But it depends on the size. We also have customers which even use this spectrophotometer, which is a very valuable instrument, but it is only small uses. Maybe there would be a possibility. This was also one topic just before, to offer this for cooperatives, to make some kinds of association among the growers, among the farmers, that they use those instruments. This was also one topic for the harvesters and so on. I think that the very professional farmers, they will be ready to invest in higher quality tools, and but the overall quantity, I think, still has not the financial possibilities to afford all that.
Okay, so we will now have a chance maybe to get the answer of Dr. Dares again. Let's try again.
Yes, I agree with the quality related to the price. And anyway, we would like to give them the experience of different, like good quality and basic quality, something like that. Anyway, we also know that we have the problem about the investment of the farmer, because of, as I mentioned about, we have just the small land. So if they work as the individual land and individual machinery, they will not have the chance to use the modern machinery or the advanced machinery, because the modern and advanced machinery, it will be the big machine, and the efficiency need the big area. So then that is one of the reasons that we trying to make them collaborative. So if they collaborate their farm and works together, and maybe they use the system of the hiring system, I think that they will have the chance to use the new machinery, the advanced machinery, and the quality machinery. So I think that it should be organized manage and make them have a chance to use the good quality. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was a message to Dr. Des, and it proves also the answers of the other colleagues here. I have one specific question to Mr. Baldev. I have to have a look if I can find it that way. Yeah, here, Mr. Baldev. Few of international manufacturers want the market survey for agricultural machinery in India. How can that be done? Is there any suggestion from your side? And maybe you can also look in the other countries as well.
Yeah, we are already into that process of getting a market survey. I understand this will be released annually from our association, the AMMA India. So we are into that compilation because we are not very old association of the agri machinery in India. So only, I mean, 6-year-old. So I was the founder president. So now we are into that process of that finalizing the data of the agri machinery. So that is lacking because it is earlier it was into the unorganized sector. So only the tractors were the organized sector. So we can get the data of the tractors. But we are compiling, and I mean maybe from April onwards we will be releasing the annual data of the agricultural machinery manufactured in India.
Okay, thank you. How is it done in Myanmar? Is there any statistics and numbers so that companies can also have an overview of what's actually going on in the country?
Our department, AMD, can help the international companies to arrange discussion with local supplier and manufacturer. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I have another question. So in one talk there was, of course, told that, okay, international machinery is quite big, when especially German machinery is often quite too big to the structures in the specific countries or in the specific regions. So what will change more quickly? The size of the machines, which would be adapted to the structures in the countries. On the other hand side, we also see that in the different countries in Southeast Asia, also the structures are changing to bigger farms or collaborations and laying together fields to bigger entities. So who is waiting for which step actually? No? The farmers in the countries wait that the machineries become smaller, and the manufacturers hope that the area will, or the fields will increase. So how getting out of this, well, that's a conflict somehow, no? Does anybody have an idea? I see some guys smiling already, Mr. Baldev.
Yeah, I think it is not like that, Mr. Erdel, that one size fits all. So the company, if they are going to have the presence all over the world, so they will have to see that they have different sizes for the different countries. So I mean, in India also, if you see on the northern part, as already Mr. Haus has explained in his presentation, the penetration of mechanization is much better than the eastern side of India. So in India also we can have big machines in one area, in the northern area, whereas the small machines in the other area. So it is kind of both are. I see both the things happening. The holdings, I mean, getting bigger for the consolidated holdings or a group of farmers or some custom hiring centers going for the big machines with the bigger tractors. But I also see that the company is going for the smaller machines or maybe scaling down the machines to suit the countries in which they are aiming to enter into the market. Thank you.
Thank you. Abhishek, you wanted also to say something on that.
Yeah, I think structurally the land holdings are not going to get bigger as far as India is concerned. But at the same time, we don't need bigger machines. What we need is effective machines, high performance machines, right? Compact, but clean, high performance machine. That is what is needed. So I think we cannot take into our rationale that one day the land will be bigger, so we do bigger machines. The key really is to make high performance machines.
Thank you. I do, Mr. Haus, of course.
Maybe I can also add a short comment on this.
Sure.
I think what we have observed in the last years, that the share of rice production in the whole world, but also in the countries in Southeastern Asia, is decreasing. So I think this is also a phenomena when it comes to the higher wealth standard in the country. People are starting to eat more convenience products, more products out of wheat, and they also consume more oil seeds. So I really expect also this shift to continue, and we will see more, probably more dry land farming in other countries in the region, and probably also by shifting away from rice, from paddy rice towards other crops, we will see some increasing of the structures, but it's just a kind of a wild guess from my side. So we also need to put an emphasis on different crops. So if we see the increasing of, for example, for oil seeds and also corn, we will probably come to bigger structures one day.
Okay, thank you. It's a good point. Another point was, in Mr. Baldev, you called it in your presentation the 3F principle. So follows fellow farmers, which is quite similar to German farmers. So everybody meets and exchange experiences with different technologies, and only if the other farmer approves it, then the other one is thinking about, well, it could be working at my place as well. So how do you actually support? Is your country or your ministry also supporting directly those kinds of exchange meetings with farmers, or is it only done by the farmers themselves in the village and so on, or is there some kind of a really targeted communication done? So how do you do it?
Yeah, normally, as I earlier said in my presentation, it is a worldwide formula. I said it is a worldwide formula, not only in India. It is everywhere. It is like that in Africa or in Germany or Europe or like that. So, but what is happening? How do we market in India? So, in every village or every area, there are few progressive farmers who are always willing to adopt new technology. So the dealers target those progressive farmers who always claim to be the first one to adopt this machine. I was the first one to take this tractor. I was the first one to bring this combine harvesters into my area. So we target those kind of people who are like a torch bearer for the rest of the area. So once they adopt one technology, and the technology proves good for them, so they become advocates of the technology for the area, and then in that area this formula applies.
Yeah, so it's quite similar in Germany as well. So
yes.
So yeah, that any other experiences from the other guys working in the countries, maybe Mr. Tobias, how do you get the experience from the farmers? Do you experience the same? So if I have one good farmer who is using my technology, he will be some kind of light in the region, and every other farmer is looking at him, and you support him actually to bring in the knowledge and the technology into this region?
Well, I believe if you talk about it, it depends always a little bit on the setting, I would say. The more advanced the technology is, the more it is difficult to really spread it out as a running model. You need to provide a business model to a contractor or farmer where he earns money at the end of the day. So this is something that you need to prove, and that So that's in regard to reliability, it's in regard to, let's say, running the ease of running the machine. And of course, the entry door is through these progressive farmers. Like Mr. Singh mentioned, in India, this is particularly a special breed. Yeah, we know, especially in Punjab, there are a lot of progressive farmers organized that are adopting new technologies. Every market certainly is different in Asia, be it India, China, or Southeast Asia. So in China, for example, this is even by policy driven, that you use bigger machines through subsidy systems, through establishing these communities of cooperatives. The entry door is certainly through these progressive farmers. My advice is always to stay as close as you can with those customers, because training and understanding of the machine is the most important topic. They have to be comfortable with the machine running in any kind of condition, to adopt to their market situations, and therefore training of the operators and of the users is very important. We try to be very close from our side. We have here our local team that are trained with all the class trainings for our machines that are running here, and to make the dealers understand, but especially also then those progressive farmers, is a key success factor, absolutely.
So I could not have taught it better. So that is actually the really key. So be as close as possible to the practice, to the farmers. And therefore, I will use this sentence, actually, Mr. Tobias, to find an end of this preview summit. I can only say it's a preview of a trading summit, because we planned something much bigger in May, actually, at the AGRITECHNICA Asia in May this year. Hopefully it will work out somehow. And therefore, I only can say thank you to all of you. So I understand that what I thought in the beginning, that we need a common understanding of the situation of each other. I guess we did a small step, but an important step today, because the structures are very different in different regions, and we really have to step in. And we had some very good examples with Mr. Tobias, Abhishek, and also Harald, who are already quite experienced in getting in these regions, understanding the needs. And without this understanding, we may not do any business or trading. So this is a very good step into this direction. So I want to thank you thank all of you, Mr. Baldev to India. Thank you for your input and your time, actually, also. Mr. Naing to Myanmar, I want to thank you that you give us an overview about your structures in your country and the situation. Dr. Dares is not here at the moment, but I bet she will look at this video and see her answers well played as well on the questions. And Mr. Haus, not far away from me here in Frankfurt, actually, I guess. Thank you for your time, for sharing the overview of the German side point of view on Southeast Asia. That was very important today. Then, of course, I have also to say thank you for the greetings of Mr. Ikstad, who actually could not make it today, Mr. Koch, and of course, our company partners from class, Mr. Tobias, Mr. Abhishek from Grimme, and also Harald Braungart from Step Systems. Thank you all very much for your time. We know that you are very busy, you are entrepreneurs, so thank you for your time, and hopefully see you in person next time at AGRITECHNICA Asia in May. If not, we meet digital. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the questions and of the audience. Thank you and goodbye for next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much for organizing this platform. Thanks a lot.
Well, and I forgot, for everybody who is still in and interested, tomorrow we will have a talk on silage production in Vietnam and Thailand, and on Friday on fruit and vegetable production in Vietnam. Same time, same place, and all other recordings are available on the AGRITECHNICA digital platform as to watch on, to listen to the discussions again. See you tomorrow, or after tomorrow, or at latest in May. Thank you.
Klaus, one more question, please.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get these the presentations as PDF file, for
Yeah, sure.
instance? Okay.
Yeah, we can share.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Bye.